A very good afternoon to all of you. Mr. Kishore Daryanani, Vice Chairman, SICCI, Mr. Shirish Jain, Program Director, Proxtera, Mr. Jian Min Sim, CEO, SourceSage, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar organized by Singapore Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry in partnership with Proxtera and SourceSage. In today's world, as all of us know, when we are unable to travel and are confined to our respective homes, it becomes essential for a SME to have an online presence. When you go online, you unlock infinite opportunities for your business. We at SICCI aim to be the gateway of opportunity for Indian businesses in Singapore, helping both homegrown and international companies realize their full potential. This session aims to empower SMEs to connect, trade, and expand globally. With this, I would request our Vice Chairman, Mr. Kishore Daryanani, to kindly open the session. Over to you, Kishore Bhai.
Thank you, Purnima ji. Mr. Shirish Jain, Program Director, Proxtera. Mr. Jian Min Sim, CEO, SourceSage. Distinguished guest. Welcome to the webinar organized by Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry in partnership with Proxtera and SourceSage. Proxtera is an MAS-backed platform for trading across borders, end-to-end solutions, riding on Singapore's FTAs with partner countries. SICCI has signed an MOU with Proxtera on the 30th of April 2021 with the understanding of helping SICCI members to accelerate trade across borders, trade financing, and e-commerce enablement. This webinar is a step-by-step guide to help you on this platform to expand your market space. Digitalization offers new opportunities for SMEs to participate in the global economy, but if SMEs are lagging in the digital transaction, and this intermediation would affect business if we were not able to transform to this new normal. SMEs play a key role in national economies around the world, generating employment and value-added services, which continues to innovate. SMEs are also central to the efforts to achieve environmentally sustainability and more inclusive growth. However, these contributions vary widely across firms and across countries and sections. Better access to global markets and knowledge networks can strengthen SMEs' contributions, but trade and investment barriers undermine SMEs' participation, and poor physical and ICT infrastructure prevents SMEs from operating efficiently and accessing international markets at competitive costs. Recent changes in the global trading landscape, such as the rise of global value chains and the digital transformation, offers new opportunities for SMEs to integrate into the global economy. Greater flexibility and capacity to customize and differentiate products can give SMEs a competitive advantage in global markets relative to larger firms, as they are able to respond rapidly to changing market conditions and increasing shorter product life cycles. I welcome you to today's session, which will help you gain a better understanding of the partnership platforms and how we can take advantage of this to enhance our trade networks and to expand internationally. With that, may I hand over the session to Ms. Purnima. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kishore. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the two partner platforms, Proxtera and SourceSage. Proxtera has already helped to connect approximately 300,000 SMEs to new trading partners across Singapore, Philippines, India, and Kenya, and offers a host of digital tools and services that help SMEs more quickly access, evaluate, and act on business opportunities. Today we have with us Mr. Shirish, Program Director, Proxtera, who will share with us how the platform empowers SMEs with B2B e-commerce platforms with broader access to global trade and innovative digital solutions. Mr. Shirish Jain, please. Over.
Thank you, Purnima ji, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the introduction as well as the opening remarks from Kishore bhai. Folks, it's an absolutely honor to be here and be among the friends too, and quite excited to speak about what Proxtera is and how it can help grow and open up new opportunities for members of SICCI. I'm here with Jian Min from SourceSage, who have been partners of us right from the day one of the journey on Proxtera. Proxtera as a journey, we started in 2018 when MAS and IMDA, the two local regulatory agencies, announced a concept called Business Sans Borders. We are a startup which is an overnight success story, but we are 3 years in making. We launched as a private entity, Singapore-based company, Proxtera, late December last year. And since then, we are very proud of the success we have seen. We are now live in 7 countries, including India, 4 in Southeast Asia, and then also in Sub-Saharan Africa, and we are growing more. The story of Proxtera, and can be on page 3 of the slides, is about, let's take an example of Neha, a small sundry store owner in let's say, a tier 2 city in India. And given the current timings of COVID and how it has impacted almost everyone in all the markets and countries, she typically uses a wholesale e-commerce marketplace, which could be her local platform, to get her grocery supplies from an upstream sourcing perspective. Now, because of all the supply chains are getting disrupted, what we find more often than not, Neha is going to struggle to find, let's say in this case, the milk powder, or it could be any other staple that she's trying to sell in a good store. What with Proxtera she can do, that is, if the wholesale e-commerce marketplace she uses to buy her goods is already connected to Proxtera, she will be able to see alternate suppliers through Proxtera network, and she may be able to find the same product at a better price or better speed or other product outcomes, and that will help her retain and grow her customer base. And this is exactly what Proxtera does. We are the engine to enhance the B2B, the business to business side, in the 2 traditional value chains, which is B2B2B, which is business to business to business, and business to consumers. We focus purely on the B2B side of it because this is where we believe there's a massive opportunity as well as challenges to be overcome for SMEs, which, like Kishore bhai described, it is the cornerstone of economy. We, as an SME community, we generate a significant proportion of GDP, even in Singapore, any given country, and we provide employment to almost 60% of the total workforce in the country. So it is important to continue to provide more digitalization tool and simplicity, and this is exactly what Proxtera does. We can move to the next page, please. We discussed about BSB, the Business Sans Borders initiative from MAS. Now, what Proxtera is trying to do is on 3 specific parts of it. One is we are connecting platforms. So the members of SICCI, when you say you want to connect to Proxtera, you will be working through one of our partner platforms. And it could be a SICCI powered platform. And we would like, and that will be dependent upon how this conversation goes ahead in terms of features, functionality, and the speed. That's the user interface that you will know and use, and that will be the familiar platform to you. Proxtera sits behind the scenes, which we are providing capabilities and services and connectivity. One of the services includes financial services sector, which may be payments like protected payments. It includes very soon financing services, and then non-financial services such as logistics. So if you are using a trade on Proxtera, which requires, let's say, shipping to somewhere in Africa or India, or let's say, hopefully soon, some other continent, you will be able to use those services through Proxtera. So the purpose is not just about trade, but the whole trade lifecycle can be managed easily so that as an SME, Digitalization is not your worry, it's an enabler for you to grow your businesses. Now, if I may skip the next page and go straight to page 6, the way Proxtera works is, like I said, we are a neutral intermediary. We connect a number of platforms in each market and also service providers. And when you see those orange circles, which are the SICCI members, by connecting to the platform connected to Proxtera, by extension, you get access to the whole of network that Proxtera has. And as we open up and connect a new market or a new platform, that automatically becomes part of your reach. Reach in terms of potential buyers you can reach and potential suppliers you can find for your own sourcing needs. So it works, it's a single pane of glass which you can use for buying and selling. Now, we currently have 12 progressive platforms across Asia and Africa. If you can move to the next page, please. Including Complete Farmer and Inuma in Africa. We got Droppy in Malaysia. We got Global Linker in India and Philippines. And of course, Singapore being a home country, we have Valency, SourceSage, Easy Procure. And then we are working with a few more in Indonesia. And that list keeps on increasing. Like Amy described, as Ms. Purnima described, we have over 300,000 SMEs in our catchment. It's now become 400,000. And we would love to continue to work at that growth and drive the more trade volumes coming through. From features that Proxtera network can enable for you, and let's move to page 8. Once you join Proxtera network through your marketplace, and Jian Min will speak more about it as he describes the offer they have, you can search and list products. You get to do negotiation and messaging, so without losing the platform. You can track your orders. You can provide feedback. And that is important because it's an end-to-end trade lifecycle support that Proxtera endeavors to provide using the platforms on our network. In addition, there are 3 services which are already available now, specifically out of Singapore. Let's move to page 9. One is about protected payments. We recognize when you're doing cross-border trade, there are often challenges in terms of dealing with a new buyer or new supplier. So what we offer is an escrow service, which makes your payment risk and supplier non-performance risk. It tries to manage that and make sure the money and the goods or contract fulfillment happens on agreed terms. We also allow cross-border remittances, both for receiving and paying money as a buyer or supplier arrangement. And we already have arrangement for local logistics and fulfillment agencies, which can give you a reach for all over the world in case your product requires to be shipped across. And we are finding and currently working on financing partner, which can provide you cash flow financing in terms of either cash line or buyer financing or post-shipment invoice financing. So those are the products that should be available in next quarter or soon after. We are actively working on that. And I guess it gives you, hopefully gives you a flavor that even though we are a young company, we are continuously and rapidly adding new features and services. And in that regards, we are quite optimistic and confident the offering we are able to put together for SICCI members will help you address and alleviate the challenges you find in digitalizing as well as expanding your footprint globally. Proxtera network, by becoming part of it, well and truly opens up the gateway to the rest of the world with one connection. Now, if you ask me what are the key benefits you get as part of joining Proxtera from a SICCI member perspective, from a SICCI, an e-marketplace, you members get a digital electronic community. It's a single portal for all your trade needs, and we can provide products and programs which are tailor-made for SICCI members. For the buyers on SICCI members, you get access to hopefully better wholesale rates, more options, alternate products and variety, as well as ability to find protection against supply chain risk by looking at different sourcing arrangements. And for the sellers, those who are supplying goods today and services sooner after, you get access to the much broader network. And once you're connected, as Proxtera network grows, like I was describing earlier, your reach automatically grows without having to do anything. So it's an automatic expansion. So this is where I wanted to start and provide a brief overview about Proxtera. There's a lot to tell about us, but at the same time, it's more important we now switch conversation into how we bring these capabilities, this excitement to you, the members of SICCI. And today we have Jian Min, and I'll hand the baton back to Ms. Purnima for the next part of this conversation. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Shirish. Your optimism is fantastic and Proxtera looks quite promising. Thanks on behalf of SICCI, to give us an opportunity. Now I would like to invite Mr. Jian Min Sim, CEO, SourceSage, an e-commerce platform company founded in 2015 with the mission to empower everyone with your own platform to start, grow, and scale your business online. SourceSage is working with SICCI to develop a white label platform to enable traders to be part of a SICCI-led cross-border platform. Over to you, Mr. Jain.
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much to Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the invitation. Thanks a lot to Proxtera. I think we have, as Shirish mentioned, we have been partnered with Proxtera since day one, and we are proud to be here today to share more about the capabilities of Sourceage as we, embark on this journey of digitization together with SICCI members. Right. So before I start, I just want to give a brief introduction because Sourceage is a relatively young technology startup and company set up in Singapore since 2015. Right. So before I begin to talk more about our platform, the capabilities, and how we can benefit to the members, maybe I should introduce more towards why do we set up this company 6 years ago. So basically, when we first started off in 2015, when we came up with a value proposition and hypothesis that a lot of traditional businesses, right, and my family business does more of the chemical trading, where the upstream is palm oil or edible oil, faced with a problem of being really traditional and manual when it comes to finding buyers, finding suppliers. Especially Singapore is an offshore trading hub without any natural resources here, right? So we usually have to source from other countries like China or even in India, and then ship it to other countries like US and Europe where they require the raw materials, right, for manufacturing of consumer goods. And therefore, 6 years ago when we first started the platform, we realized that in order for us to start digitizing, buyers and sellers in both industries, we have to come up with a platform or what we call a B2B marketplace today. So to date, Sourceage is no longer just one marketplace. We are actually a multitude of different marketplaces that are powered by Sourceage and our capabilities in different sectors, whether you are in chemicals, whether you are in grains, whether you are in palm oil, or even FMCG and retail products. We have also joined, other webinars as well in the past, so you can find a lot of our information online, including our Sourceage channel on YouTube, if you like to check out our media publicity. Yeah, so just a snapshot of Sourceage. We do have today large customers through our portfolio of clients, including DHL as a big buyer, DBS Bank, Mitsui in the chemical sector, Cushman & Wakefield in facilities management, Kenco and Kenbit in Germany and Japan as well. We do have products from different merchants, about more than 100,000 of catalogs and products. And we have rolled out our solution in different countries, right, including India as well, where we are partnering with one of the large MNC DHL for the procurement of goods and services, right? And we have been, invested by relatively well-known investors like iGlobe and Wavemaker, who has done 3 rounds of funding in Sourceage, and we are growing very rapidly. in the e-commerce and procurement space. Now, before I begin, I just want to touch base on what kind of problem Sourceage is trying to solve, right? And that will give you a better idea of the platform and service offering, and thus the value propositions, right, at the end of this webinar. So Sourceage is trying to solve the problem of large to small businesses, whether you're trying to, as a small buyer, you're trying to buy from a large producer or manufacturer, or whether you are a small sellers trying to sell to a large buyer. And to date, there's a lot of friction when it comes to facilitating such trades because of the risk involved, as Shirish highlighted, in some of the risks like, financing transactions that could be solved, using Proxtera when it comes to cross-border, right? So, and the other problem that we have faced, 6 years ago, as we are solving this problem, is that many of the big buyers, in order to approve you as a vendor, will take a long time to do that, right? Regardless of whether it's in Singapore or other regions. And likewise, large producers generally want to sell to large distributor, who then, will in turn sell to the small buyers, because small buyers do not have a volume to negotiate on the pricing when it comes to consolidation of orders. Now, Sourceage solution is pretty straightforward. And to date, of course, we are partnering with the likes of Proxtera to increase the adoption of our solution. And of course, we hope through this webinar with Singapore Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we can extend, our product and offering to members to consider. Now, on the left-hand side, you have the sellers, where typically Sourceage can provide a technology to white label a platform. So you can call it your own marketplace, you can call it your own online shop or online store, right? Selling from different kinds of products. We do have B2B and B2C features since a couple of years ago, where we extended into B2C. So if you are selling to consumers or even businesses, Sourceage does have capabilities which were introduced later that's able to do that. On the buyer side, for medium-sized buyers, we can provide them with a procurement platform or interface. For the larger buyers who are using SAP or Oracle iProcurement system, Sourceage to date has the ability to connect into their ERP environment, which means that if you are a seller selling products on your own website, you can have an opportunity to display your products in the procurement platform. And likewise, through Proxtera, we are able to also display your products into third-party marketplaces overseas to extend the visibility of your products to overseas buyers. And that is interesting because in that way, you're able to increase your sales channel and the number of prospective buyers who may inquire more about your products. Beyond that, beyond the fact that Sourceage is a software as a solution provider, we also provide you with operational support, e-commerce as a service, and procurement as a service, right? For so selected members of the community, including sellers that we have done our KYC and buyers who are relatively large, we do provide a financing gap today between paying to suppliers first and collecting from the buyers 60 days later, right? And these are value-added services that Sourceage has branched into, because we realize that in order to solve the B2B problem, we have to provide an end-to-end solution, not just a software. So software does not digitize alone. We require a series of other modules that Mr. Shirish has shared, in the Proxtera presentation earlier, right, in the entire ecosystem. So to date, Sourceage is plugged into Proxtera APIs, and likewise, we do have other components that we can plug into, which nicely gel into this slide, which is the capabilities of Sourceage as you onboard your digitization journey with us. Starting from the top functionality, we do have an order management and flow system. If you are GST registered, we can actually auto-generate a tax invoice on behalf of you to your customers, right, to your buyers, whether B2B or B2C. We do have the functionality called purchase request or purchase order, and an approval hierarchy as well within each organization, right? And of course, the ability to do cash checkout. Now, in the catalog management system, this is interesting. For B2B, we do have the ability to enable your product pricing to appear different to different buyers. And we have done it for the likes of chemical companies or palm oil companies, right? Because many of them may have special pricing to different customers. And you may also want to have pricing tier or volume discount. If a certain customer is buying in larger volume, does the price change? And today, Sourceage does have the ability to configure all this catalog pricing. And we have launched it, in the area of plastic raw materials trading, right, as a platform, selling LLDPE or LDPE or HDPE, right? These are all the petrochemicals downstream products. Now, on the third, to the right, we do have the B2B and B2C features as explained earlier. And you can either have both or you can either choose one, right? So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to configuring the type of platform that you want. We do have real-time pricing information. If you're in the sector of oleochemicals, chemicals, palm oil, or even other industries, we do have more than 400 different commodity pricing products that we today are licensing to Bloomberg. If you're not on Bloomberg Terminal, yes, you can also subscribe to the feature on the platform. And for the rest of the features, including payments, logistics, and fulfillment, Sourceage today is already pre-integrated with the likes of DHL Supply Chain, DHL Express, Ninja Van, right? So if you're thinking of sending your bill of lading to your clients or counterparty in other countries, you can consider to use our discounted rates that we have negotiated with DHL. Unfortunately, we do not have FedEx here, but we hope to have them one day. And of course, for payments, payments can be done via bank transfer, credit card, QR code. And the last three features to the left includes administrative control, data analytics, to look at who or which buyer is most interested in which products of yours. And group buy, right? If you want to consolidate your orders to buy from a single large manufacturer or producer, which otherwise you may not have the volume to negotiate for better pricing, right? So we do have such functionalities enabled in our platform, waiting for you to choose from. Now, in terms of other custom additions, sometimes most of our customers may think that, hey, I may want to change the look and feel. I may want to change certain features and workflow because my industry may not be the same as other industry. Sourceage does offer certain customization on both the front end and back end for different customers of ours. And of course, depending on the complexity, we can also integrate to accounting and ERP system. Many of our clients or sellers who may want to integrate orders into their accounting software like Xero or Financial has also utilized our capability as well. And can Sourceage actually be available for buyers in other countries? The answer is yes. Today, we do have a capability through partnering with different payment gateways in other countries as well. And of course, digital marketing and search engine optimization will be explained in the later slide. So this is an example of a company called 30 Marketplace selling mattresses. Right? It's very special. They are not selling like commoditized product, but selling mattresses and bedding materials on the platform. They have utilized our solution, and our solution at the moment or in the past was qualified for DRB. DRB has actually going to end in 3 days' time as a grant, but they have utilized the grant to adopt our solution, and I think that is pretty effective. They have gotten, for instance, 60,000 worth of sales on the 6th of June during one of the campaign that we have launched. There's also other kinds of templates and industries that we can cater to, including industrial materials, machines, or even retail products like shoes, bags, and fashion. We have done it before when it comes to digitizing these products. And last but not least, this connects up with what the previous presentation was about, which is how can we increase the visibility of your products after being digitized to other sales channel. So to us, by integrating with Proxtera, this gives our members, a huge amount of value proposition when it comes to attracting new buyers. Our integration with buyers on other platforms has also given rise to a value proposition that Mr. Lim from Pioneer Mart has mentioned, right? Which is without getting approval as a vendor into a MNC, they can actually now sell through Sourceage, right? And in the future, of course, with Proxtera. So whether you are digitized on marketplaces or other platforms like Shopify, Wix, and WooCommerce, or even Shopee or Lazada, you can actually utilize Sourceage, because Sourceage has the ability for you to integrate your current digital store into our platform and from our platform to Proxtera or to other sales channel, right? Sourceage has that ability today. And last but not least, we do provide value-added service like digital marketing or operational support to your store. You may not have the ability to run it because you may face the shortage of manpower. Sourceage does have people within our company to help with digital marketing effort that we have done for 30 Marketplace in the area of mattresses as well. So what do we help on? Contents, posts, social media management, managing your accounts on platforms like Shopee and Lazada if you're on such platform. And of course, integrating your products on Lazada and Shopee if you're on them into other third-party marketplaces as well, right? And of course, we do provide such consultancy as well to SMEs who may be interested. Yeah. So finally, this is the last slide, summarizing the value proposition, marketing of products to other e-commerce marketplaces through Proxtera, the ability to gain new customers and sales revenue, increase branding exposure, which is through our digital marketing, and of course, the ability for you to set up your digital presence, if you have not done it yet, right, through one of the e-commerce platform out there. Sourceage can be of service to your needs in that sense. And last but not least, we do have some promotions. We have ReviewQuest, a telco, and OpenSoft. So if you are subscribing to Sourceage, in fact, there are certain tie-ups between us and them under our marketing campaign for you to get certain freebies from a HR software or from telecom broadband service as well. Yeah, with that, I will end off my presentation and pass it back to Ms. Purnima. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jain Sim, and quite insightful. I'm waiting for a few questions posed by the audience, because I'm sure people are a bit, initially reluctant to ask questions. So I'll start with a question to you. Suppose somebody is already on, say, Shopify, and they have their own B2B presence. Is this not like incurring a lot of cost to a SME who is already looking at cutting down costs, like paying for Shopify monthly, then paying to SourceSage, and then paying to Proxtera and others? If you could just clarify the whole gamut of this digital thing, that would help.
I guess I can take on the first question. So on our side, as mentioned, Sourceage does provide the online store builder, right? Which of course, they could have done it with Shopify for the B2C side, right? Although I must say that Sourceage is more geared towards B2B, with tiered pricing and volume discount and payment terms that's enabled, that's usually not available in Shopify, right? Because they're using it more for B2C. However, if they, choose to remain at Shopify because they have a contract with them, Sourceage can then, offer our Sourceage Connector, which is another package that allows them to increase sales opportunities through other channels, including Proxtera. So to date, of course, because our platform is already pre-integrated with Proxtera, what we can do is to offer that connectivity between Shopify and our, intermediary platform, which is our online store, and then from there to push products into third-party marketplaces and platform. So in that sense, they will not be using our online store builder for additional subscription fee, and they will just be subscribing to our Sourceage Connector, right? That allows them to build up their sales revenue and sales channel, right? Which otherwise Shopify may not actually help on because they are purely an online store builder. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. And there's a question by Mr. Chandra Kumar. He is asking, are the platforms meant only for products? Can we sell online courses to multiple countries in B2B? If Mr. Shirish, for products, or can we sell online courses to multiple countries in B2B? Basically, he's asking services. Can services be provided?
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Purnima. It's an excellent question. I did allude it to when I was talking about in the my presentation as well. Today, we are goods only, but in near future, very soon, we will have services as well. So what I'll say is to Mr. Chandru is, please watch this space. There's a lot more excitement coming here, and we'll be excited to share as soon as we have the services launch planned for it. And look forward to working with you to design some of those services construct as well.
That would really be awesome, because service sector is huge in Asia, and with all this pandemic and online classes going, there's huge scope in medtech, edutech, in all different sectors as well. There is a question posed here. It's for Mr. Jain Sim. Okay, the question is that how does the cross-border payment work?
I think I can take on this. So if they're using Sourceage online store directly, we do have tied up with certain payment gateway that can be enabled for foreign currency. So that means that if, let's say, a customer in Malaysia may be paying in ringgit using a credit card, the payment gateway will be able to accept that. But of course, it depends on other approach that you need as well. Some merchants may not want to incur the merchant discount rate or the transaction fees that will be charged by payment gateway, and therefore, they may pay via bank transfer. In Singapore case, it's quite straightforward because it's you usually have the pay now option, right, which will significantly reduce the transaction fees, where the Singapore government is also actively promoting. Now, when it comes to Sourceage integrating with Proxtera, right, and the customers may come from a overseas platform, payments of course then will be transacted through an escrow via Proxtera itself. And I think if there's something Shirish you would like to address, I'll pass it on to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jian. So interesting question, because ultimately goods or services, it needs to translate into collections of money, whether it can be through card-based instruments or it can be net invoice 60 or traditional remittances. Like Jian Min described, Sourceage has certain features available. And then we provide over-the-top additional services like escrow, where there could be need for agreement between buyer and seller to deposit money from buyer into a trust services. And you can say on fulfillment of a specific Incoterm, whether it's cash against document or otherwise, then the money is released. We already have that service available. It's already live in Singapore. So you can definitely use that. And then if there are any specific collections or services available from other countries, like remittance out of Singapore, we have partners available who will be able to provide competitive rates. And what it gives you is choice. You have information, pricing to use. Does your existing method is just as economical, or is one available on Proxtera or Sourceage, giving you better economies of scale and use the purpose? So we bring more choices to you.
Thank you so much for the elaborate answer. There is a question from Mr. Beryl. Is there an opportunity to participate for sellers in Sri Lanka selling raw materials through the B2B platform?
Absolutely. Unequivocal answer, yes. We yet do not have Proxtera flag flying in the island of Sri Lanka. But given our focus is Singapore as a hub with South Asia, which is India, Sri Lanka, and other regional countries, we would love to get Sri Lanka also on our map as well. So please do reach out to us and let's have a conversation how to make it happen.
Yeah, basically, he's talking about coir products. So it's anything to do with handicrafts and those kind of ethnic product. That would be wonderful, Mr. Beryl. Yeah. Okay, I'll come to the question posed here later. One question I had, a scenario, Mr. Shirish and Mr. Jain Sim, because you said that it's business sans border, right, Proxtera. So suppose there is a B2B, a SME in Singapore who has got a large order, say from a European country, but he doesn't have the capital or the money to produce that goods, but he's got that order of a $2 million. But so can Proxtera help through your, linkages with the banks?
Excellent question. Yes, one of the key areas where I described earlier, Proxtera takes pride in fulfilling the whole trade lifecycle. For an SME, getting a confirmed order is a great outcome, but it opens up a whole lot of challenges, and most of them are left on the capital side. How do I access working capital to even buy my own raw material? Or if it's going to take me 3 months to manufacture and collect after 2 months, how do I sustain my staff for that 5-month window? We have done a pilot to do buyer financing for purchase order on cross-border, and we are now productizing it. So I look forward to sharing with you when those features are available, which will be both cash line as well as buyer financing, as well as supplier financing, both on purchase order as well as post-shipment invoice. and some other innovations that we are working on. So great question. Watch this space.
Thank you so much. Today we have almost more than 30 to 32 audience, Mr. Shirish and Mr. Jian Min Sim. I think probably those who are interested and all, they will have some more questions, and a smaller audience, we could really show them the demo, or maybe after a month, if everything opens up, we can call them to SICCI, And just for the audience also, I would like to say that SICCI has signed a MOU with the Global Trading Network Proxtera on 30th of April 2021. It's a step to help its members use online platform more effectively. And as you can see from both the presentations, there's a lot of advantages to join the Proxtera platform and to do trade effectively. And one of the questions here is now, Mr. Shirish, that how do I join Proxtera via SICCI? How do I sell or source through SICCI cross-border? Do I just join the SICCI marketplace? So I think this is a very important question in the mind, that are we ready, or what are the steps, what are the processes, and when are we ready?
Excellent. Few steps to go through before we get to that outcome, and hopefully it will not take that long for us to get there. For the scenarios you just described. The purpose of this webinar is to bring this opportunity to SICCI members, and thank Jian Min for that, and thank you SICCI Chambers for facilitating it, to understand what the demand and what are the drivers and what are the unique nuances that you may have. So as we learn for it, we will then work with Jian Min and the Chambers to come up with a proposition to make sure it lowers your barrier to entry and accelerates your time to buy and sell. So we are at the early stages of that journey, and we'll continue to work with the Chambers, and Chambers will get in touch with you regarding that timeline once we finalize it.
Sure. I think we will inform our members about the timeline, because this one was a great initiative. I should thank our chairman, Dr. T. Chandru, and our CEO, Johnson Paul, for initiating this webinar. Now I think there are no more questions. If there are any, please send it to Pooja and we'll address it. I would like to request Kishore Bhai to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Purnima. Of course, I would like to thank Mr. Shirish, Mr. Jian, for sharing this useful information. I hope it'll be very useful for all the members, for them to go digital. I also would like to thank our chairman, Mr. Chandru, our CEO, Mr. Paul Johnson, and Mrs. Pooja Verma for setting and initiating this platform. I would certainly say that future is digital. If you wish to know more about these platforms and how you can leverage on them to expand globally, please get in touch with Mrs. Pooja Verma at pooja@sicci.com. I thank everyone for attending, all the guests, and I hope everyone will be able to expand around the world and make use of all the benefits they can. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, audience, for spending a good time on your Friday evening. Thank you, Mr. Shirish, Mr. Jain Sim, Kishore Bhai, Pooja, Johnson, and everybody. Have a great weekend and a safe weekend too. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.